but we all know why it's happening now.
Atlanta's going to get wrecked, fam. Right, so yeah, let's jump in here. We're going to be heading on towards Garden. So this is a map where Farah is definitely a good pick to go towards. And I love the fact that we're seeing a hover on towards this Widowmaker here. Shawfall's Widow is pretty nasty. And again, Farah, it's definitely got to respect this.
Well, we've seen Taimu do it on this point. He goes over to the Widowmaker, kind of like stands by the spawn a little bit further out, gets that pick onto the bar, and then goes back and changes to something else. So jump right into the action.
I didn't know yet.
Very close there.
That.
Potentially knocking some players off that bridge. Hurek just putting down some damage onto the Gladiators.
Hurek just pressuring. You can see he's staying quite close to the building because he's not sure if Los Angeles have hits yet. And now he knows there's a shot that comes through and gives him a very cheap haircut. Shawfall forcing him right back, and Hurek might have to think twice about how he sets up. He's hugging those walls. He's not showing himself at all to Shawfall and very much just trying to get damage done as safely as he can. But guess what? Hydration doesn't have to worry about that. He's not going up against the Widowmaker. He gets to walk out into the open and just duck rockets on top of the Spitfire.
It's a triple DPS lineup here for the Gladiators. Hydration on the Pharah, Asher playing Tracer. It seems like, outside of his McCree play, it seems like they're really focusing on him as that Tracer player. Then Surefour now on the Widowmaker. With Surefour and Hydration, they can give you a lot of interesting looks in terms of DPS.
Options are plenty for the Gladiators, and so far it's working out. Wuyal doesn't stick around for very long. Shawfall picks off the mech pretty comfortably in Hydration. It's the 1-2 punch, the hammer and anvil, as you would say, for the Los Angeles Gladiators to combine like that. Shawfall's a little bit close to Gesture right now, but he's able to back away. The bubble gets dropped down. Hydration, though, that is nicely done to find closer. Getting up close on towards the point with the barrage. It does make you vulnerable as a Pharah, but if you have the element of surprise, the enemy team can already be flattened by rockets before they realize what's going on.
Yeah, the Spitfire was trying to just be on that point, force the Gladiators over the bridge, but Hydration comes from behind, lands a rocket barrage here. Interesting, also the Gladiators not playing the Pharah Mercy combination, just the Pharah Hagapin. He'll go off the side of the map there. The hands of Hydration as the Gladiators looking much better here on Lijiang Tower.
I like this from Hydration as well. He gets on the point and just contests it to make sure the Spitfire don't steal it away while the Gladiators were just disengaging and using the Transcendence to its full effect. Hydration, some good prediction there, but Prophet's going to find him, dashing straight through. He was getting healed at the same time, and Asher now deliberating how he might employ this Pulse Bomb. No, probably not worth using on Hurek, especially if he does have a recall available, but Asher's very low. He didn't have the recall himself, though healing. But a 75% opening from the Los Angeles Gladiators is impressive, and it's definitely going to be putting pressure on the Spitfire to try and equalize.
I wonder, though, if you're going to have to change a lot if you're the Gladiators, right? Surefour goes off of Widow. He'll start playing 76, but you have Big Goose. He has that sound barrier. You imagine they use it. Maybe you get the Mercy in the mix, though. It'll be the Dragon Blade that comes out from Prophet, plus the Transcendence here for the Spitfire. So this is the fight where the Spitfire will take with relative ease. They'll push the Gladiators back.
That was insanely aggressive. The Spitfire, not only do they fight on the enemy team side of the map, but they engage with the Transcendence. They were adamant that they were going to fight and win it right there. Perhaps they're trying to generate some more ultimate percentage there, but Prophet, I believe, used the Dragon Blade amongst that. So yeah, very aggressive little spurt there from the Spitfire.
Well, now it gives a little bit of a window here for the Gladiators who have their sound barrier. They're going to have a rocket barrage and a pulse bomb, but no support ult on the side for the Spitfire. It's going to be a few kills going down from Hydration's rocket barrage, and he actually gets closer. So closer, 95% to that Valkyrie.
Oh my lord!
You don't have the opportunity to use it.
Prophet actually came up behind Shaz and wasn't able to find him there. Every member on the Los Angeles Gladiators standing tall and giving an account of themselves in that last fight. Prophet looked like he had him dead to rights, and Shaz would have been, well, expensive cutlery by the time he was done, but no.
Oh, and they get closer at the beginning of this, and he has the Valkyrie already 87% towards the Gladiators. So what do you do if you're the Spitfire? Do you decide to wait, get your Mercy back in the fight? You do have the Transcendence for the side of the Gladiators and a Pulse Bomb. That's a huge pick there by Shaz.
This is starting to get out of control here. The Gladiators out in front. The Transcendence being used, and that enables him to secure the kill on Wuyal. Hydration in a scouting position, but also finds closer. He backs up into the rocket launcher of Farah, and she's more than happy to get rid of the Mercy in the most grisly way possible. Still, Wuyal chases down, managed to find Hydration, and Shawfall fell over on the point. Gesture with the flailing fists of fury was able to deal with the Soldier 76. And just as it seemed when Los Angeles were about to win the round, the Spitfire bring it back in their favor at 62 to 99.
And now Los Angeles, they have no ults here.
You good, Asher?
Spitfire, they do have their Transcendence. Closer moves off of Mercy, goes over the Lucio, and you're going to get a Dragon Blade here for the Spitfire. So the Spitfire now looking in pretty good shape.
Hydration starting to respect the fact that Hureg is now on the 76, so he now is sticking closer to that middle building. Don't know what Prophet was looking for there. He walked straight into a heck of a lot of healing and a lot of damage, and he went just a little bit too far. Over-aggression and hubris seems to have hurt the Spitfire at the start of the fight, but at least they equalize for a 5v5. Hureg connects with Remix with a Helix rocket, but Surefour's got a lot of space to work now, and that's mostly thanks to Remix being in that front line in the first place. Single tank is hard to play with, but there's damage to back him up, and the barrage is going to come down. Gesture just falls apart. A recall hastily off the point there by Prophet, knows he's in danger. Now we have the point in control of the Gladiators, and overtime has begun.
And you see Hydration just putting down the damage. Moira comes out the end, trying to get back towards the point. Oh, it looks like Huyal gets right onto the point as Diva trying to make a last-ditch effort here for the Spitfire. But you see Hydration high up in the sky, putting down tons of damage here. Looks like the Gladiators in a very good spot to take this map.
Very cheeky from Jester to get back, but no, eventually it's inexorable almost, and undoubtable as the Gladiators get the last bits of damage done. The stall was there, but there was nothing to back it up for the Spitfire. They'd already lost before the fight had begun.
And the tides turn there because the Spitfire try and get aggressive again. The Transcendence plus the Dragon Blade going all the way back towards that Gladiator spawn to the other side of the bridge. And I believe it's Big Goose who just lands a boop on a Prophet. He's not able to get anything. And then Prophet in there, Zenyatta so out of position, right? Because they just push all the way through that bridge. You get your tank behind them. You have the DPS players follow that up. And you're able to take that point here on Lijiang Tower.
And now we're going to see a Junkrat in the mix here for the Gladiators. Excuse me, which I enjoy. A Genji for Hydration, so a different flavor than perhaps what we've been seeing for most of this series. And the Spitfire have a bit of a different comp as well. This is what I wanted to see, is Reinhardt, Zarya, Junkrat, McCree.
Yeah, and it'll be solo tank for the Gladiators with that Junkrat. So interesting setup. Usually when we see Junkrat in the mix, it's usually the Zarya and the Reinhardt that come out.
So now it's going to be a little bit of a slower start to the fight, especially with Shaz getting an early pick on Hureg. Again, the Mercy's there, so the res will also be there. Note that the Los Angeles Gladiators don't have a Mercy of their own, so picks like that will not be able to be covered over so quickly and hastily for the Gladiators.
Shaz, though, just like at Contenders playoffs, he's able to get those first picks on the Zenyatta, forces the res out, and then although they do lose Remix, you're able to get a kill from Surefour, one from Asher, and take the fight. You see Surefour sitting up top, has the Riptire available. Maybe just trying to bait the players for the Spitfire here onto the point.
Gesture already at half HP there after the early salvos of damage, and Surefour gets himself nestled right in between Hureg and Gesture and finds a kill on the McCree. Although he goes down as a response, Prophet found him hiding in the dark holes, controlling his tire with his Australian telekinesis, I'm going to assume. You know what it is that allows him to do that. But Asher now is in the mix, but Hagapun sends him packing there. A volley of Wolves of Destruction puts him right back into spawn.
Spitfire just back up a little bit, and they're able to just push their way onto the point. The Transcendence comes out here from Shaz. So it looks like the Gladiators want to take this fight. It'll be Surefour taking out Prophet. Closer, though, has the Valkyrie available, brings Prophet right back up into the action. Big Goose getting closer towards that sound barrier. Hydration working his way towards that Dragon Blade as well. As the point still contested, it's the Gladiators that building up percentage.
You can see Big Goose there as well, just maintaining pressure and presence on the point, giving his team extra capture progress as time goes on. So it actually allows the Gladiators to get an extra 10% than they otherwise would have had. And finally, Shaz and Asher fall. And you can see at this point, Surefour is hoping that they try and chase him down to stagger. He puts the trap out in front of him, but Huyao spots it, destroys it. Surefour, though, is not going to allow himself to be picked off on his own. He'll wait for a bit.
Now the Spitfire have a lot of ults at their disposal. Everything but Valkyrie here, so maybe we see a big grab land here in the hallway and catch a lot of the players from the Gladiators.
Prophet's looking for Surefour as well. He was lurking around the side halls. Now he's back on towards the point. No! Surefour found him. The Hunter becomes the hunted, perhaps. It's going to be sound barrier used for Los Angeles Gladiators, and most of that extra HP has been churned through already. Shaz, though, forced to use the Transcendence, so it is both the support ultimates being committed to this fight by the Los Angeles Gladiators. And you know what? They probably needed both of them here, Matt. They took a lot of damage early on in the piece. Now the Dragon Blade also committed to the fight. This is all well and good, and I like that people are cheering, and I encourage it. The Gladiators only have the Primal Rage here to try and hold out.
Not anymore. Looks like Remix has just used his Primal Rage, so
why have you done that?
Probably an accident. Wouldn't use the Primal Rage up top there. So now they don't have any ults. So now it's even worse than you originally had thought. The Spitfire, they have their Valkyrie. Prophet opens things up with a Pulse Bomb on iRemix.
Okay, at least the trade was there though. Hagapun goes down. Nice from Shawfall to pick him off in the back lines. It looks like the Spitfire actually kind of want to resettle this. I don't know if I want to get too aggressive. Shaz is insane, by the way. In case you weren't already aware, Prophet and Hurek go down. Prophet hastily brought back on his feet by Closer, but Shaz is there with another one. 3 kills for Shaz in the fight. And I tell you what, the Finnish know how to find their players. Perfect picks with this Zen. Not much else to be said there. They didn't have the ultimates, but it just didn't matter. They got a monster in the form of Shaz, and he dumpsters most of London Spitfire in the last stages of that round. Los Angeles Gladiators, by the way, the purple one, are going to take the series 3-2.
Shaz played great on the Zenyatta. He was able to pick up so many kills, just like how he did at Contenders.
Thank you.
There we go. Now the cheers start to come down. It is the Gladiators who take this match over the London Spitfire.
First, we saw the Valiant yesterday with an impressive performance over the Shock. Now, the Gladiators take it to the London Spitfire. I love a good, what do you call it, upset, perhaps, Matt, but it's fantastic performance. And the first look at both of these two teams has been